The idea of creating my own materials was born during fabric and yarn exposition visits. I was initially looking to find and buy new materials for my project. I realized that the image that I was having in my mind does not yet exist. So I decided to think outside of the box and challenged myself to create my own materials. This allowed me to have a more clear understanding about production systems within the fashion industry. My love for research was born by constantly asking myself how this garment is made and what materials are used. My background is in fashion design, so in my case I went from the outside of the industry and finding my way towards the inside. This is the place for me to research how I can create new fashion aesthetics based on experience, interdisciplinary collaborations, and how to convert all this new integrated information into my Re-FREAM project. I think that the essence of my collaborations have been about bringing an image to life that I had in mind. As a fashion designer, I know how I want to create a certain movement around the body. A technician, for example, of textiles or yarns can explain and show to me how all these production steps work. But when these different worlds come together, you kind of break your own framework. And this is where innovation starts for me. It's a nice experience, because at first maybe your partners don't understand what you're trying to reach, but when several elements come together and you see that it's working, a new frame of reference is created. When I reflect on Re-FREAM, the first thing that comes to my mind is being open and adaptive. The concept of my project is tailored by weather, meaning that the designs are created by meteorological conditions. This design by nature thought process requires creating new yarns and smart materials. During Project Re-FREAM, I was able to finish my co-creation process and filament production in 2019. When COVID-19 happened, the entire world needed to adapt towards a new lifestyle. In my case, I decided to develop all my final project steps locally. This eventually has worked out in the best possible way. Sometimes emotional situations can lead to new ideas and even better outcomes. The current stage of my project is to finish the artistic process of the rain installations. After that, I will focus on my new project called Adaptive Archifilament. My goal is to develop this filament into a commercial product. It was, for example, already an interesting experience for me working at Textile Lab, creating the Marinero fabrics with these new yarns. I learned that other textile designers are interested in buying the Archifilament for their future projects. It's nice to already hear these positive feedbacks around me. So going from lab scale towards commercial scale would be an interesting step for me as an entrepreneur. Innovating and change have always been an essential part of the fashion industry. But new positive change can again cause unexpected other chain reactions in other fields. Maybe the size of how we produce on a global scale just needs to be brought back to less supply offered and more slow fashion. Also, using new and sustainable materials that could be implemented into industrial production machines could be an interesting solution, because current machines are created in order to fit specific materials that are sustainable in some ways but environmentally damaging in other ways. It's complex because there is not only one solution. My thought is that emerging technologies should mainly contribute to worldwide slow fashion in the future.